On November 12th, 2019, at around 11 p.m., a Ring doorbell camera captured something unusual. A woman could be heard repeatedly screaming for help, sounding extremely distressed, somewhere down the street. The cries sounded distant at first, almost as if someone had been injured nearby. At the same time, a man's voice could be heard repeatedly shouting, "I'm sorry." Hearing the commotion, a nearby homeowner stepped outside to see what was happening. Hearing the screams, the homeowner stepped outside to see what was going on. She looked down the street, but couldn't immediately tell where the cries were coming from. Moments later, a light-colored car passed directly in front of the house, which raises a disturbing question. Who was the woman desperately calling for help that night? And why could a man be heard repeatedly apologizing to her in the middle of it all? Unfortunately, those questions have never been answered. Despite an investigation and widespread media attention, the identities of both the woman and the man remain unknown. No public updates were ever released, no explanation was ever given, and to this day, nobody knows what happened after that car disappeared into the night. Late in the night of August 24, 2018, around 3:20 a.m., a Ring doorbell camera captured a barefoot woman walking up to a stranger's front door. She was wearing nothing but an oversized t-shirt with what appeared to be broken restraints hanging from her wrists. After pressing the doorbell, she looked back toward the street and walked away before anyone inside could answer. The clip itself was only about 8 seconds long, and there wasn't much we could learn from it alone. But when another homeowner reported seeing the same woman at their door, it became clear that this wasn't just a single strange visit. She had been going from house to house, ringing doorbells and disappearing before anyone could reach the door. The footage was eventually released online, with police asking the public for help identifying the woman. In their statement, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said, "The MCTX Sheriff is investigating the suspicious incident that occurred in Montgomery, TX. Please share this post so it can be monitored by law enforcement." One possibility was especially disturbing. Some people wondered if she could have been part of a setup designed to get homeowners to open their doors. The idea was that she might approach a house appearing to need help, while others stayed hidden out of view. If the homeowner came outside to help, they could be caught off guard. But there was no evidence proving this had happened. And there was another problem with that possibility. She wasn't waiting for anyone to come outside. She kept moving from one house to another, ringing the bells and leaving before anyone could answer. Ultimately, there was no way to confirm what she was actually doing. That said, there was another possibility. 5 days later, investigators received a call about 49-year-old Dennis Ray Collins. Deputies went to his home for a welfare check after concerns he might hurt himself. No one answered, so they forced their way inside. Collins was dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Nearby, investigators found a handwritten note mentioning his girlfriend, the same woman from the Ring footage. They eventually found her safe with her family in Dallas. She told investigators that Collins had restrained and sexually assaulted her before she escaped. The broken restraints on her wrists were bondage cuffs. She had then run from house to house, looking for someone to help her, but Collins' death left one question behind. Why did he kill himself? His note reportedly acknowledged responsibility for what had happened to her. Whatever his reason, one thing was clear: she had survived. She was safe with her family, and her identity was kept private. And somewhere inside those 7 seconds was the moment she was trying to escape. In April 2023, in East Haven, Connecticut, a man claiming to be a delivery worker walked up to a house, holding what appeared to be a package in his hand. He was wearing an orange safety vest and approached the front door like he was there to make an ordinary delivery. He rang the doorbell and waited for the homeowner to answer. The homeowner had no reason to expect anything unusual, but there was something the homeowner couldn't see yet. He opened the door not knowing it could become the worst mistake of his life.
I don't know if this is for you. Ahí lo copa.
The man immediately reached toward his right side and pulled out a handgun. I've blurred the weapon here for personal reasons. He then tried to force his way through the doorway, but the homeowner pushed him back outside. Otero stumbled down the steps, looked back for a moment, and then ran. But here's the unsettling part. The man who had just walked up to the house wasn't the one who drove away. A silver Dodge Ram was already waiting nearby. Police eventually identified him as 37-year-old Xavier Otero. He was arrested and charged with multiple offenses, including home invasion and criminal possession of a firearm. This footage is a strange reminder that sometimes the most unsettling encounters can begin with something as simple as a knock at your door. And for anyone, especially women, being aware of who is standing outside before opening that door can sometimes make all the difference. Because this happened at 5:14 in the morning. A Ring camera captured a young man walking up to a residential home. He walks onto the porch, presses the doorbell, and immediately knocks several times. He returns to the porch, claps his hands together, and once again tries to get the homeowner's attention. But the door stays closed. So he walks away again, pacing near the edge of the property. Then, a few moments later, he comes back for a third time. This time, he speaks directly through the Ring camera.
Please come out, please, please. I know, but there's a huge snake in the sky. It's humongous. I'm not kidding. I need a witness. I know, I just need a witness. I don't have, my phone's dead and no one's gonna be able to know. Alright, I understand, but thank you.
Whatever he believed was happening that morning, he appeared determined to get the homeowner to come outside. He points toward the sky, continues talking through the intercom, and gestures repeatedly while holding his phone. Eventually, the conversation comes to an end. He raises his hand, turns away from the camera, and walks back into the darkness. And after he disappeared from the camera, there was no clear explanation for why he had come to that house in the first place. The man was never publicly identified in connection with the footage. And without knowing who he was or what brought him there, his true intentions that morning remain unknown. It was the middle of the night when a couple was suddenly awakened by someone knocking at their front door. They weren't expecting anyone, and when they checked their security camera, they saw a stranger standing on their porch with a knife in his hand. The couple never opened the door. Instead, they watched the stranger through the camera, trying to figure out what he wanted. He remained on the porch for a short time, standing close to the entrance, before eventually moving away. According to the homeowner, they immediately called police. Officers arrived and searched up and down the surrounding road with their spotlights, but the stranger was nowhere to be found. What makes the encounter even more unsettling is that the homeowner couldn't explain why he had come there in the first place. In her post, she said the man appeared to have a working cell phone, yet there was nothing about his appearance that explained why he was standing outside their home in the middle of the night. Late one night, a Ring camera outside an apartment captured a woman standing near her front door. A man in a gray hoodie suddenly walked up behind her. She turned around and asked if she could help him. He pointed toward the parking lot and claimed he was trying to check on another woman nearby. But the explanation was vague, and she wasn't interested in continuing the conversation. She told him to leave, he agreed, and walked away.
Can I help you?
No. You all good. I'm trying to make sure she okay.
I'm good.
No. I got you. She is managed. She wants to be. That's it.
Then you can go over there.
Okay.
For a moment, it looked like that was the end of it. But the women soon rushed back inside the apartment and locked the door.
Alyssa, it's not funny. Get inside.
I know. Look at the fucking thing.
And while they were inside, they checked the camera. That's when the same man appeared again. Only this time, he wasn't simply walking past the apartment. He came directly back to their door, stopped at the entrance, and appeared to look closely around the lock and handle before walking away again. According to the original poster, there was more to the incident than what the camera captured. She claimed the man had confronted the women near their car in the parking lot before they ran back to the apartment. That part of the encounter wasn't recorded in the footage provided, so exactly what happened there remains unclear. The residents say they contacted police, and according to the original poster, the man was later arrested. However, the footage and information provided don't establish his identity or the exact charges he may have faced. And whatever his real intentions were that night, the people inside weren't taking any chances.